number 2 bike up for sale. 03 Screaming Eagle Road King. So a friend of mine had bought a Screaming Eagle identical to this one that you guys seen before that I had. And when he passed away, I bought the bike from his daughter. And I had that bike for a long I had that bike and then I crashed that. That's the first motorcycle wreck I ever had when I hit some grass on a curb and it turned the bike sideways and jacked my shoulder and stuff up. But at the same time that I owned that bike, this bike came up for sale and it was identical to mine, and I actually bought it for Matt, my buddy. So we'd go ride together, and then I found out the story of years ago, he crashed a bike, and when he was flying through the air, he had an epiphany and said, God, let me live out of this and I'll never get on a motorcycle again. He said, man, bro, nobody's ever done that, but he said, I made God a promise and I'm not gonna break it. So then Stacy and I went and rode this bike. And I don't know what it is about this bike that's different from my other bike, because you see them side by side. Other than this one's got a lot more bells and whistles and chrome and shit on it. But this bike rides totally different. Now, when I bought this bike, it does have $80,784 miles showing on the odometer. But the guy had just taken this bike down, had the Harley shop completely go through it and went through everything. It's got a billet crank, billet rods. They did a bunch of stuff to it. I mean, they rebuilt everything in this bike. This guy had a lot of money and he was in love with the bike. And then right after it got done, he found out he couldn't ride anymore. So when I bought the bike, it'd been sitting for, shit, I don't know, a year or two. And like I said, when Stacy and I took it for a ride, we were both so fucking impressed. Hey, we're missing a bolt right here. We're missing we gotta get a little bolt and a washer. You gotta call the Harley shop.
Uh-oh.
Missing an air cleaner bolt. Just caught that. But bill on the bike at the Harley shop was like $13,000. They tried to tell him, hey, we could sell you a new bike, take that one in on trade, and he didn't want no part of it. He wanted this thing, he wanted this bike, he wanted it redone, and they did. They put every little chrome doodad, bell and whistle that you could possibly put on one of these. And then I kept the original tour pack. I kept the original tour pack off my other bike. So, another one of these deals. Book value, is it worth the money of what I'm fixing to tell you? Probably not, but I really don't care. I know what's done to this bike. I know how this bike runs, and I know how this bike rides. And it is, like I said, the other one had a huge sentimental factor to me, but this bike rode and ran so much better. I actually gave the other bike to Pavel, one of my guys at the construction company. He's like a brother to me. He wanted one, and I gave him that bike because I honestly couldn't sell it to nobody, because it belonged to Cub. But that's how impressed I was with this bike. I've never rode an 03 that rides like this one. Stacy, you can attest to that.
I can. It's just, it's comfortable. I don't cramp up on the back seat. I don't know what it is that's different.
I don't either. The two bikes side by side, guys, you couldn't, I mean, other than this one had more chrome and shit on it, you couldn't tell the two bikes were any different. Mm-mm. But this bike is, like I said, it runs twice as good as the other one, and it rides 10 times better. And I don't know what all they done to it. All I know is the basics on the motor. I know they did put a billet crank, rods, because he told him he wanted it to last 200,000 miles. He never wanted to open it up again. They went through the transmission, the motor, everything, put cams in it. And like I said, it's a great bike. It runs great. I've had it for a while, but all three of them are going up for sale, and whichever one stays, that's the one I keep. Guys, it takes $15,000 to own the bike. I know what the bill was at the Harley shop, so I'm not going by book value here. I'm going by what this thing's actually worth. And like the other bike, If you don't think it's worth it, I really don't give two fucks what you think. I know what this bike is. Guarantee you ride it. It rides unlike any other Road King, because I had the same identical bike and there was no comparison between the two. Even Stacy, when she jumped on it, we didn't go. Matter of fact, that's when I gave the other bike away. This is the bike I ride the most because it's super comfortable. It's got tons of power. I mean, the power to, and the funny thing is, my other bike had cams. I mean, my brother, he's a brother. Cub worked it. He's a head tech at the Harley shop. So it had all the shit that you could put on one. And this thing run 2-3 times better. So that comes with the tour pack. I've got the seat backrest, all that stuff. I actually got a lot of extras on this bike, the liners, all that stuff. But if somebody's interested in it, that's what it takes to buy it. I'm not negotiable on it. It takes cash. If you want it, you can buy it. If not, maybe it'll be the one that sticks.